Hi, I'm Zheng from George Mason University. My advisor is Prof. Vivian Motti. I'm gonna present about assisting students with intellectual and developmental disability in inclusive education with smartwatches. Intellectual and development disability, also called IDDs. IDDs are characterized by limitation reasoning, learning, problem solving, and behavior. They are chronic and have severe impacts on cognitive as well as physical abilities, affecting social and practical skills of an individual. They are lifelong, and their prevalence is 1 in 6 children in the US. Inclusive education happens when students with and without disabilities learn together in the same class. The automatic goal of the inclusive postsecondary education is not the high GPA, but the sense of independence, collegiate experience, employment, and social skills. I'm going to introduce our background, Mason Life, a post-secondary inclusive program for young adults with IDDs who desire university experience. To attend class, each student is assisted by an assistant sitting nearby them in class. The assistant provides assistance to the students with verbal interventions and body gestures to keep them focused, calm, or silent, and inform them what to do next and encourage them to participate in class. However, this kind of assistance with verbal might cause some discomfort or stigma to the students and even disturbs their classmates in the same class. So how about consider the smartwatch as assistive technology? So consider the instance of smartwatches that are ubiquitous, they are continuous, and the screen has small dimensions and glanceable, and they have wrist sensors, and they can provide micro-interactions. While it is good to apply a smartwatch in the classroom to use that unobtrusively, while little is known about the smartwatch to assist students with IDDs in inclusive post-secondary education setting. So talking about some related work, use wearables for the people with cognitive disability. The first one uses the IR sensor worn on the chest to support the proximity awareness for the people with autism. And the second one is also for the social skills. It uses the bracelet with LED lights to augment human-to-human physical touch. For the children with autism, the third one is SLAP. It uses the digital strength bracelets to record the interaction to analyze anxiety. Later, for the adults with autism and focus, it is a smartwatch no-code application to foster intended focus and reduce anxiety for the adults with ADHD. So here we can see 2 of them are for the social skills and 2 of them are for the anxiety, and they are for like children, adults with autism, or adults with ADHD. And our work is about the education in inclusive setting, and it is for the young adults with IDDs. So here is our problem to assist the communication between the students with IDDs and their assistants in inclusive post-secondary class using smartwatch to let the students with IDDs to benefit from getting assistance without the stigma of having an assistant coach them visibly. So our motivations for the students with IDDs are reduce the stigma, let them become less dependent on the assistant and more involved in the class. And for the assistants, we want them to use the technology to help the students less obtrusively without verbal, and provide them with discriminate communication and facilitate their work. And for the classmates, we want to reduce the distraction to them due to the verbal. And the challenge in here is to work with the specific population with IDDs. We have limited population, and we have to be very considerate in the user study, involve those students. We have to involve at least 1 expert in the special education in case, like, for example, in focus groups, they need some snack or drink break, or they want to use restroom. And we have to take non-10 field study. We have to face the trade-off between the universal and personalized design for different students with IDDs. And to use this technology in inclusive class, we have to make sure it is unobtrusive, responsive, and all the interactions should be micro-interaction, and we should consider the context of the classroom and should be ever ready in the classroom. So following the user-centered design, we take a 3-phase interactive approach, including 8 user studies with 58 participants in total. So here is our phase 1, requirements elicitation. We conducted one focus group with 6 assistants, among them 2 experts in special education, and 6 semi-structured interviews with 6 students with IDDs. So here shows the result. There are no big concerns for the acceptance of wearable technologies for those students with IDDs, and for the non-function preference for the device, both assistants and students want the device to be sturdy and waterproof. Both assistants and students would like to search a little further in the classroom between each other, and the assistant's content should include the features to support maintaining focus, helping participants moderate their voice value when the students are talking, intervening in case of inappropriate behavior in class. So in phase 1, we also find our goal is to improve the communication between the students with IDDs and their in-class assistants. It's not to replace the assistant with the technology, but use the technology to help them to provide the support, but not have the personal barriers. Here is one quote from the focus group. She said there are evidence to say that having an assistant can cause a barrier to our students to be fully integrated in the class. So it is one of the things that wearable technology can try to compensate for. Although a lot of things that the personal assistant does was good, but at the same time, just having the person signals the students are different. So following phase 1, we have our phase 2 is designed for the prototype and pioneer study. Here we come up our prototype of Wearable Life. And we have 2 focus groups with 10 assistants and 2 focus groups with 11 students with IDDs for the pioneer study to get feedback about the prototype. So here is our prototype, it's Wearable Life. It is also called WELI. It is a wearable and mobile solution in the class. The students with IDDs can receive timely interventions pumped up on his or her smartwatch with a quick vibration to be noticeable, which is sent by the assistants either automatically or manually on their mobile phone. So there are 2 kinds of the interaction. One is the passive, like the students only receives the notification and reads out. And another one is like notification with questions or need confirmation. So when the students receives the notification, she can reply on the smartphone to give the confirmation. So the table shows the frequency of the topics covered in the 4 focus group. Besides the features we found in phase 1, we found additional features like requirements like preparation before class, mood recognition, break, reminders, and customization. Here I want to show the demo. So imagine it's in a class, and the student gets a little bored, and the professor asks some question, and the assistant sends the student participant notification, and student respond. And here it shows like preparation checklist before the class. And here it shows like focus intervention and assessment, like choose blue means we're happy. And following the first 2 phases, here come our 3rd phase, user studies. We conducted 1 participatory design sessions with 32 assistants and 2 usability study sessions with 7 students and 6 assistants. So for the participatory design sessions, we mainly focus on the terminology we use and design we used in WELI. It turns out 66% of the terms we used are treated as appropriate by the assistants, and 10% of them are treated as inappropriate. So we changed those terms and the icons. For example, the first row shows the icons we used before for the assessment, with from the left to right with the text like bored, happy, tired, stressed. And the assistant turns out don't like this icon. They think it has the implementation of the genders and race, and it's like a baby and They think it's not naughty, bad baby. So we changed that, and according to their advice, because all the students are trained with the those of recognition before, so we changed that to the colorful ones in the second row. Like we use the text blue, green, yellow, red to represent the different those of the mood rather than the concrete one. And we add rewards feature to provide positive reinforcement to the students. And we also communicate how many rewards the student get per class. And for the usability testing, it is in the lab setting. We have 2 sessions. We mimic some scenario in the class, like solving difficult problems in math class or their favorite music class. We test each features in our wearable and mobile applications one by one and ask the student to rate and comment the features after they just use that immediately. Here shows the result. For like, we can see the rewards feature get 100% like, and the focus get more than 90% like, and others like quiet participants assessment get like more than 80% like, and this is for the percentage of the not sure, and this is for don't like it. We can see the focus doesn't get don't like it. So I want to show some details of the UIs here. So on the left, we can see the participant menu, like the staff can click the buttons and it can send corresponding notification to the students, for example, to ask them lesson and wait, ask them to raise hand, to talk. And we have more demonstration of like focus, raise the hand, quiet, shoe, and rewards. We can have like, we can notice that each notification have their corresponding icons because the staff mentioned the students like the, and also the students mentioned they like the pictures more than the text. And the last corner shows the alarm and countdown reminder. For example, it shows like 2 minutes left for the class break. Ask them to come back to the classroom, please. The students can reply on their smartphone. They got that message, so the assistant in the classroom won't worry about the students outside the classroom won't come back. And here is the readiness checklist and after class survey. For readiness checklist, the students can check the prepared items on the smartwatch, and the checked items will appear checked on the assistant's smartphone. And after class, the assistant will send a stack of 3 question survey to the student, and student can answer each question one by one, and the assistant can get the feedback. So here is the assessment, like to let the student to do the self-assessment. The assistant can ask them what is their role, and the student can choose their mood among blue, green, yellow, and red. For example, they choose red, and a question asks the level within that zone will automatically send to the smartwatch, and student can choose among high, medium, and low. And based on their answers, the assistants can send them corresponding recognition messages. For example, take a break for this high rate, means very angry or very stressed. So for our future work, we want to first test in the real class. We conducted 1 studies in last fall, and we are conducting 1 this spring, and the pie chart shows the feature frequency used in the real class. We can see what used most is focus and rewards, and we want to make the application more flexible to let them to customize the message, and the different students can receive different personal messages. I finished that last month, and I want to make that more smart, like to use the gestures of the student, let them to use gesture to answer the assessment question and take advantage of the inbuilt sensors of the smartwatch. And I also want to enhance the off-class functions for this application. For the takeaway, like students with IDDs, they are special, but they are not different. Like they have special needs in class, but they don't want to be treated different. So that's why we try to use the smartwatch and the wearable and mobile to compensate for. And For the design, we have to triangulate various methods and different views from all the stakeholders. We thank Perf Anya, Heidi, and Kudi, and Anna for the design of graphics. Thank you.
Any questions for Hoi?
You said that you wanted to make your system smarter. Did you ever consider principles from persuasive computing, not pervasive, persuasive computing, in order to reinforce some parts of your system? Like, for instance, if you want to say, stay awake, and it doesn't work, so you can switch to another modality at runtime and reinforce that message with complementary modalities? So these are the principles of persuasive computing?
Yeah, it's like that, like to detect that if the students are sleepy or not, and send the corresponding interventions to them. Yeah, I want to make advantage of those inbuilt sensors of this off-shelf smartwatch later.
Hello, Raquel Dottle, Abilene Christian University. I was wondering where you see this implemented or how you see this working for students who are in lower income communities who may not have access to smartwatches or this technology.
You mean for the students without smartwatch?
Correct, yes.
So when we take the studies last fall, we have 6 students. Only one of them have the smartwatch before. And actually we use the Android Wear watch, and that student has the Apple Watch, but he is very welcome to the Android watch. He will took off the Apple Watch himself and wear the Android watch before each class, and all 5 students are enthusiastic about the watch. Also, they will even show off to their peers in the classroom and say, I have a watch and I can use that in the class. Yeah. So they are welcome and enthusiastic about wearable technologies. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Great. Another question, I have one. So I was wondering, you're looking into ways to customize the message. Are you considering the assistant or the students being the authors, or together co-authoring those personalized messages?
I consider them together to do this customized messages, but the assistant will input the messages the student want for them on the phone. So I have built a database for each student. So each student will have their customized messages, and they will have their corresponding categories also.
I see. And looking into your field study where you want to deploy this, do you think it is that point, the customized messages, that are going to evolve? Like, how do you see the differences between in the users perceiving this technology now than they did it in a study, and then when they use it long-term over months or?
Yeah, I haven't seen the results this semester using the customization, but we have a focus group. After last fall, all the assistants we built some customized features for them to add personalized messages. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Well, let's thank again our speaker.